Sunday, October 12th, 2025, back at the dacha again, and it is a cold one today. Let's go take a look and see how cold it is. Let's look at the thermometer. Well, it's showing plus 7 degrees Celsius, but it seems a lot colder. Well, there you go. It sure seems a lot colder than plus 7. I don't know, maybe it's because of the wind. But, well, now it just died down a little bit. But a few moments ago, it was really windy, and I thought, oh my God, it's got to be freezing. But definitely winter is around the corner, and I got to get a lot of things done. One more thing I wanted to say. I'm just wondering, when you guys watch my videos, where are you guys from? You know, it'd be kind of cool to see in the comments down below. Leave a comment and tell me where you're watching from. I don't know, that would be kind of cool, because I do know there's usually 4 or 5 people. I kind of know where you guys are from. But what about the other 50 people that watch my YouTube channel, or 100, or sometimes, you know, it might even reach 200-300 views? Where are you guys watching from? I don't know, it'd be kind of cool to see what's the outreach of my YouTube channel. Okay, so I have to do more digging today. So I got my shovel ready, and there it is. And I'm going to be digging a ditch. I'll show you where I'm going to be digging. Here it is. I want to dig down that way, just to open it up a little bit more. When I was here yesterday, I started to dig out a channel. There it is. And today, I want to dig a little bit more so that when the water does start flowing, it's not going to slow down over here where the grass is already grown in. So I'll probably go about maybe 5-6 meters and get that done. And then I'll move on to some other project. All right, let's go to work. So as I was digging this ditch here, I noticed that the neighbors made a mistake a long time ago. Or, I don't know, they just had a problem with the drainage. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's turn the camera around. So as I was digging, and, you know, just uncovering the ditch line, I realized that there's a hump. So the water could not flow. So by looking at it, it's almost the depth of the shovel. So I got to dig down further. Otherwise, the water can't flow uphill. So starting right from over here, and it just goes up, 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 and then it goes down. So what I need to do is I need to have a steady downcline so that the water can actually flow down. So it's just made a little bit more extra work for me, but I got to get it done. All right, back to work. Okay, all done with digging the ditch. Let's turn the camera around. I'll show you what it looks like. Here it is, all done. And this center area, it took a while to get through because I had to go deep. And now the water can flow easily all the way down over there to the road and then into the ditch. And it'll go dun, 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 way down there. So there it is. Now we have a good ditch line, good drainage. And I'm happy. All right, now I got to find something else to do. Well, I got the next project ready, and right there's the chimney. Since I'm going to be burning firewood in the chimney, I got to make sure that the chimney is clean. So I got to move my ladder over. Yeah, there's the ladder right there. Got to move it over, climb up, and clean the chimney, and then go inside, open up the wood stove, and pull everything out, and then I'll know that everything is all clean and it's ready for the season for burning. All right, let's go climb up and let's start cleaning. I figured that while I'm going to be up on a roof here, might as well sweep off all the pine cones and the pine needles, and the gutters are full with pine needles. So I'm going to clean everything up and, of course, clean the chimney. So in case you guys are wondering how I clean the chimney, well, I got this metal pipe right here, and what I do is I bang the side, bang, 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 all around, and any of the creosote that is on the chimney here just gets knocked down, and then I go down and I clean it out on the bottom. So that's how I clean the chimney. And the reason why I don't have a brush is, well, number one, I don't have a brush, and number two, I find that this system of just banging, just the vibration of tapping on the stovepipe actually just creates enough of a vibration that everything just comes straight down. So that's that. And as for sweeping, cleaning right here, check that out. That's nice and clean. And right behind me, that's what has to be cleaned out. Now let's get a better look at exactly what has to be cleaned up here on the roof. So these pine needles right here, if they're not cleaned up, they act like glue, and they just are caked on here, and the snow doesn't actually slide down as easily. And same with the water that's coming down, it ends up freezing, and then you got these long lines of ice. So if it's cleaned up like this on this side, the water can flow much easier, and the pine needles are not holding back any of the snow. So there it is. I know you guys are probably thinking, well, more pine needles are gonna fall. Yeah, that is true. But I will probably climb up here again, probably in the next couple weeks. Like, even if it does snow, the snow will melt, and then I'll be able to crawl up here and do another once thorough and just keep it clean. And then once the snow finally does come down, you're gonna have a nice clean surface like this instead of it being like this, and it's going to impede the snow from coming down smoothly, because this is going to be like sandpaper. The snow is not going to be sliding off it. All right, let's go to work and let's clean this up. There it is, all cleaned up, looking good, much better than the way it was 20 minutes ago. Now I got to clean the gutters, make sure that there are no pine cones or pine needles in there. I'll just push everything out onto the ground, and then I can just sweep up on the ground and haul everything away, and everything will be nice and clean. All right, back to work. Well, the gutters are much cleaner now. I don't know, I can't really see too much on this side, but there it is. All right, gutters are clean, and the roof is clean, and the chimney is clean. All right, let's just go inside and clean out all that ash. Here's all the ash that's in the burning area, and below it there's also a whole bunch of ash. So we'll clean this up right now, and it'll be ready for the burn season. All right, let's go to work. That didn't take too long, so we got that all cleaned up, and down below, and we got about two-thirds of a bucket. All right, let's haul it away. Instead of dumping all this ash over the bank, I figured, you know what? Put it into the greenhouse. So just put it over here, and then we'll just mix it in with the soil. There you go, look at that. That's like they say in Russian, udobrenye. Yeah, it's like fertilizer. Just dump it right there. And then, of course, I got to clean this up right here. But that's later. Anyways, let's dump this and let's go do another project. I'll just mix that ash in with the soil later. And yeah, it's going to make everything grow much better. Everything that was swept off the roof is all down here, and I got to rake everything up right there and put it into the wheelbarrow and haul it away. I don't know, I'll have to find some place. I'll probably take it over there, put it into that berm. All right, let's start raking. Okay, all cleaned up and into the wheelbarrow, and let's take it away. Okay, the next little job that I have here is the grapes. I gotta take them down and coil them up, and then they will be ready for winter. Can't leave them up like this, otherwise they'll freeze. So you have to take them down and put them into a coil, and then we'll cover them up and they will be winterized. Let's go to work. These grapes are down now, and I got them coiled up, and I got the bricks on them to keep them down. Otherwise, they'll just go up. And then I'll cover them up with leaves and whatnot. And I got to empty the water out of this barrel. And yeah, I got water in here. Got to empty them. Otherwise, they're going to freeze. They're going to be rock solid. Yeah. Actually, it wouldn't really matter. It would not crack the barrel because it's not solid. So even if it did freeze and if I forgot about it, no big deal, because you would just have one big solid block of ice. But I'll just turn it over. Actually, we could do it right now. Let's see. There we go. That's one. And we'll do this one. Okay, so the barrels are empty of water, and I flipped them upside down so that no snow or rainwater would get in there during the winter months. Not that it's going to be raining in the winter. Anyways, so next year then, all you have to do is just flip them over and they can be filled up with water again. All right, I still have grapes way over there. I got to deal with them. Let's go to work. Okay, we got these grapes over here. Need to winterize them. But before I can start coiling them up, I need to get rid of all this grass that's underneath here. So I put on my good plastic here so my feet or knees don't get wet. And just get down on my knees and start pulling all the grass out. And then I'll be able to coil up the grapes and then weigh them down with the bricks. All right, let's start work. Okay, the grass is all cleaned up, and I got about half a wheelbarrow load of grass. Here it is. Now I can start taking down the grapes and start coiling them up. This year we had this grapevine here, and we called it the wild one because we didn't really take care of it and it just grew wild. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it a little bit. We got a lot of these shooters here, keeping the main core right here, but all these ones that are twisty and windy, I'm going to trim them down and just leave the essential, like right there, that. Right there's the essential, and this is another main root, and right there. And all these little shooters right here, I can trim them up and it'll be much easier to coil. All right, start cutting away. Now this is more manageable right here. I cut it right down. Those are all the shooters that I can haul away. So you've got the main roots right there. There's two right there, and there's one right here and another one right here. Now I can just bring this down, I can coil it up, and I can put some bricks on it, and then I'm done. And there, just like that, everything is down, coiled up. Got the bricks on them to weigh them down, and that's it. And I will cover them up with some leaves. And where am I going to get the leaves from? Way over there. Lots and lots of leaves. So yeah, just to cover them up so that they can hibernate throughout the winter months. Okay, I am done for today. So today was a very productive day. I dug that ditch, I cleaned the chimney, I cleaned out the wood stove, I swept off the roof, I did the grapes. I did those grapes right over there, the ones that were further on, and that's it. So I am done. I'm gonna go home a little bit early because I'm gonna be celebrating. Well, since tomorrow is a work day, I figured today I will celebrate because it's a Sunday. It's actually Canadian Thanksgiving. Well, actually it's tomorrow on a Monday. Even though I'm here in Russia, I still celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving. It's different. It's not the same as the American one. What I mean by that is the Canadian Thanksgiving is the second Monday in October, and the American Thanksgiving is the fourth Thursday in November. But it's still pretty much the same thing. We eat the same turkey, stuffing, pumpkin pie, and all that. So yeah, it's just a family get-together holiday. So I'm gonna go home today, and I'm just gonna spend some time with Victoria and John and Andy, and that's it. So the sun is just behind that house over there, so I still got some time. It's only about 5 o'clock right now, so I'm gonna go home, relax, and just take it easy. All right, I gotta go. So if you like this video, smash the like button, leave a comment. If you're not a subscriber, it is free. And just like I said in the beginning of the video, let me know where you're from. Where are you guys watching from? Are you from Canada? Are you from Russia? I don't know, the US? Western Europe, Eastern Europe? I don't know. Let me know. It'd be interesting to see in the comments. Like I said earlier, what's the reach of my video? Who are the 50 people that are watching, and where are you guys from? All right, I gotta go. So, like I always say, paka paka, and happy Canadian Thanksgiving. Paka paka, second time.